Why was Muhammad's hatred of the Jews more extreme than that of the Christians?
The facts are borne out especially in the biography of Muhammad by Ibn Ishaq, called Sirat Rasulullah, wherein he shows that the Judaized Arabs of Medina, especially, knew very well that Muhammad was only a pretender, a charlatan, a liar, and a terrorist. He was not revealing to them a single precept, concept, thought, or idea that in any way, shape, or form was either equal to or superior to what he was plagiarizing, pirating, plundering, and or perverting from their own scriptures, traditions, and fetishes, as well as from others. They were capable of questioning and challenging his alleged revelations and nefarious deeds so much that he had no choice but to destroy them, as witnesses to his mendacity. Chapter 3, 118. O you who believe, take not into your intimacy those outside your religion, pagans, Jews, and Christians. They will not fail to corrupt you. They only desire your ruin. Rank hatred has already appeared from their mouths. What their hearts conceal is far worse. Chapter 4, 46. Of the Jews, there are those who displace words from their right places and say, we hear, and we disobey. Chapter 4, 160. For the iniquity of the Jews, we made unlawful for them certain foods, good and wholesome, which had been lawfully for them, in that they have hindered many of Allah's ways. Muhammad and his Quran are wrong as usual, since the food prohibitions were mandated by God upon the Israelites. There were no Jews at that time, and not, as the Quran asserts, that they did it upon themselves. The listener can verify and satisfy his or her intellectual curiosity by studying the list of forbidden foods in Leviticus, chapters 11, verses 1 to 46. Chapter 5, 51. O ye who believe, take not the Jews and the Christians for your friends and protectors. They are but friends and protectors of each other. And he amongst you that turns to them for friendship is of them. Verily, Allah guideth not a people unjust. Chapter 5, 64. The Jews say Allah's hand is tied up. No one on the face of planet Earth can show a single such blasphemous verse anywhere in the scripture of the Jews. Muhammad's Quran is again deceiving its audience by perverting and twisting history, theology, and facts. The historical records speak volumes regarding the actions of the Jews and those of Muhammad and his followers. The Jews did not conquer, mass murder, enslave, plunder, rape, destroy, and dehumanize millions of people. The Arabs and the Muhammadan Muslims did. They did so on a colossal scale, on 3 continents, covering almost 10 million square miles, slaughtering and enslaving hundreds of millions of people in the name of Allah. Chapter 5, 82. Strongest among men in enmity to the believers will thou find the Jews and the pagans. The hatred emanating from Muhammad's Quran can be cut with a chainsaw. Here, the verse above associates the Jews with the pagans as if they too are unbelievers. In reality, this verse was revealed to justify Muhammad's slaughter and plunder of the produce and wealth of the Judaized Arabs that he, an unemployable and unemployed person, coveted. Chapter 9, 29. Fight those who believe not in Allah nor the last days, nor hold that forbidden which has been forbidden by Allah and His Apostle, nor acknowledge the religion of truth, that is Islam, even if they are of the people of the book, until they pay the jizya with willing submission and feel themselves humiliated. For those ignorant people among the followers of Muhammad, who have not read, let alone studied the Quran, this verse alone was and is a unilateral declaration of war by Muhammad against the Jews and the Christians, as well as against all other human beings who do not believe as he does. Chapter 9, 30. The Jews call Uzair a son of Allah, and the Christians call Christ the son of Allah. That is a saying from their mouths. In this, they but imitate what the unbelievers of old used to say. Allah's curse be on them, how they are deluded away from the truth. Muhammad falsely but deliberately accuses the Jews, the first and most ardent monotheist in the world of saying that the Uzair is the son of God. No follower of Muhammad or any other human being on the face of this planet can point to a single verse in the whole scripture of the Jews proving any of the egregious accusations made by Muhammad in his Quran. In Sahih al-Bukhari Hadith 4.791, narrated by Abdullah bin Umar, he says, I heard Allah's apostle saying, the Jews will fight with you and you will be given victory over them, so that a stone will say, O Muslim, there is a Jew behind me, kill him. Sahih Bukhari Hadith 6.252, narrated by Musab. I asked my father, was the verse, say, O Muhammad, shall we tell you the greatest losers in respect of their deeds? He said, regarding the Jews and the Christians, for the Jews disbelieved Muhammad, and the Christians disbelieved in paradise, and say that there are neither meal nor drinks therein. The above hadith shows that Muhammad's hatred of the Jews was because they denied his pretense for prophethood and alleged revelations. Muhammad's polemic against the Christians was because they believe in a spiritual afterlife, and not in Muhammad's physical paradise, where his followers who died and die murdering so-called unbelievers aspire to. Muhammad turned paradise into a house full of sensual and sexual pleasures for his utterly gullible and simple-minded followers, a veritable whorehouse of unlimited numbers of permanent and eternal virgins. To sum up, there are hundreds upon hundreds of such vile, loathsome, ignorant and stupid verses in both the Quran and Hadiths that we cannot possibly recite. Many of the modern followers of Muhammad assert that the Christians are descended from pigs, while the Jews are from apes. They declare this repeatedly on their TV and newsprint. Let us, as usual, explore the following most staggering statistical facts. There are approximately 6,500 million human beings in the world today. There are approximately 14 million Jews today, compared with 1,400 million followers of Muhammad. The Jews hence represent 0.2% of the human population, while the Muhammadan Muslims are 21.5%. Yet the Jews, the alleged descendants from the apes, constitute 20% of all Nobel Prize winners in history, while 79% of all the other Nobel Prize winners are not followers of Muhammad. The Christians, the alleged descendants from pigs, are the ones who brought electricity, running water, cars, paved roads, railways, hospitals, schools, sciences, art, planes, metal ships, etc., etc., which the followers of Muhammad enjoy without ever giving them credit. In the 500 years from 1450 to 1950, not a single follower of Muhammad from among the hundreds of millions can be named who has contributed anything of value to human progress. The same can be said for the last 1400 years in the Arabian Peninsula. The followers of Muhammad excel in terror, hate-mongering, war-mongering, deception, mendacity, hypocrisy, disloyalty, and denial of reality and facts.